Hi kids, welcome to English. Today's topic is present tense and agreement with subject.
喺英文嘅寫作同埋語法練習上面，學生可能冇辦法獲得喺主語 subject 同埋動詞 verb 上面嘅正確一致。喺今堂，我哋會練習運用語法最基本嘅規則之一。In the present tense, a verb must agree in number with its subject. Remember to add an s to the verb if its subject is singular, and not to add an s if the subject is plural. 當我哋嘅主語 subject 係單數嘅時候，我哋需要喺動詞 verb 後面加返嘅 s。當我哋嘅 subject 係眾數嘅時候，我哋就唔需要喺個動詞之後加返嘅 s 啦。我哋首先可以喺一個句子裏面揾出動詞同埋主語。We can first identify the subject and the verb in a sentence. Now let's compare the verbs in bold in the two sentences below. The first sentence, May sings the blues at the singing contest. The second sentence, my best friends sing the duet at the singing contest. Both verbs describe a present or ongoing action. In other words, they are in present tense. But the first verb ends in s, and the second one doesn't. Can you give a reason for this difference? That's right. In the first sentence, we need to add an s to the verb sings because the subject, may, is singular. We omit the final s from the verb sing in the second sentence because there the verb my best friends is plural. Remember, though, that this rule applies only to verbs in present tense. Also remember that the trick to the following basic principle of subject-verb agreement is being able to recognize subjects and verbs in sentences. Here are 4 tips to help you apply the principle that a verb must agree in number with its subject. Tip 1. Add an s to the verb if the subject is a singular noun. A singular noun could be a word that names one person, place, or thing. 當我哋嘅主語係單數嘅時候，我哋可以喺動詞後面加 s. Let's look at some examples. The businessman drives a hard bargain. 喺呢一個句子入邊 ，businessman 係我哋嘅 subject， 而佢係一個單數，所以我哋喺個 verb drives 後面可以加 s. 再睇到一個例子。Talent develops in quiet places. 喺呢一個句子入邊 ，talent 係我哋嘅 subject， 而佢係一個單數，所以我哋可以喺個 verb develops 後面加 s. Tip 2. Add an s to the verb if the subject is any one of the third-person singular pronouns he, she, it, this, that. 當我哋嘅 subject 係以下落嚟其中一個代名詞嘅時候，我哋亦都可以喺呢個 verb 後面加 s。我哋睇睇以下落嚟嘅例子。He drives a minivan。我哋見到代名詞係 he， 亦都係頭先所講 he, she, it, this, that 其中一個。咁所以我哋可以喺 drives 呢個 verb 後面加 s。我哋再睇到一個例子。She follows a different drummer。我哋見到 she 亦都係 he, she, it, this, that。裏面其中一個代名詞，所以我哋喺個 verb follows 後面都可以加 s。Tip 3. Do not add an s to the verb if the subject is the pronoun I, you, we, or they. 當我哋嘅 subject 係 I, you, we 或者 they 呢4個 pronoun 其中一個嘅時候，我哋就唔需要喺個動詞後面加 s 啦。睇睇例子。I make my own rules。我哋見到代名詞 I 後面嘅 verb make 係冇加 s 嘅。再睇下一個例子 ，You drive a hard bargain。我哋見到代名詞 you 後面嘅動詞 drive 亦都係唔需要加 s 嘅。所以大家記得喺代名詞 I、you、we 同埋 they 後面嘅動詞就唔需要加 s 啦。Tip 4. Do not add an s to the verb if 2 subjects are joined by and. 當我哋有兩個主體用 and 連埋一齊嘅時候，我哋亦都唔需要喺動詞後面加 s 嘅。 我哋見到呢一個句子入邊有兩個主體 Jack 同埋 Sawyer 用嘅 and 連接住，所以當我哋見到 Jack and Sawyer 嘅時候，我哋就唔需要喺個動詞 argue 後面加 s 啦。再睇多個例子 ，Charlie and Helen enjoy music together。Charlie 同埋 Helen 都係用嘅 and 連接住，所以我哋唔需要喺個動詞 enjoy 後面加 s 嘅。So, is it really that simple to make subjects and verbs agree? Well, not always. For one thing, our speech habits sometimes interfere with our ability to apply the principle of agreement. If we have a habit of dropping the final s from words when we talk, we need to be particularly careful not to leave off the s when we write. Also, we have to keep certain spelling rules in mind when adding s to a verb that ends in the letter y. In most cases, we need to change the y to ie before adding the s. For example, the verb carry become carries, try become tries, and hurry become hurries. Are there exceptions? Of course. If the letter between the final y is a vowel, that is the letter a, e, I, o, or u, we simply keep the y and add s. So say becomes says, and enjoy becomes enjoys. Difficult structures in subject. In the present tense, a verb must agree in number with its subject. In the following time, we'll have a look at 3 of the trickier cases of subject-verb agreement. Case 1. Making subject and verb agree when words come between them. In determining subject-verb agreement, don't let yourself be confused by words that come between the subject and the verb. Let's compare these 2 sentences. This box belongs in the staff room. This box of ornaments belongs in the attic. In both sentences, the verb belongs agrees with its subject, box. Don't let the prepositional phrase in the second sentence fool you into thinking that ornaments is the subject. It is simply the object of the preposition, and does not affect the agreement of subject and verb. 我哋喺判斷 subject 主語同埋動詞 verb 嘅一致性嘅時候，要留意唔好俾其他嘅詞語混淆到。喺剛才兩個句子入邊，我哋嘅 subject 都係 box，而唔係 ornaments. Prepositional phrases often come between a subject and a verb. Make sure that a verb agrees with its subject and not with a word in the phrase or clause. In the following, mentally cross out the interrupting group of words. One of my sister's friends is a pilot. In this case, the subject is one, and the verb is, while of my sister's friends is an interrupting group of words. The next example. The people who survived the explosion are in the shelter. In this example, the people are the subject, and the verb is are, while the interrupting group of words are who survived the explosion. Last example. A man chasing unicorns is on the terrace. In this example, the subject is a man, and the verb is, while the interrupting group of words is chasing unicorns. So we have to be particularly careful when the subject is an indefinite pronoun or when words come between the subject and the verb. Case 2. Reaching an agreement when the subject is an indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns are words which replace nouns without specifying which nouns they replace. Remember to add an s to the end of the verb in the present tense if the subject is one of the indefinite pronouns listed below. Anyone, everyone, no one, someone. Everybody, somebody, nobody. Everything, something, nothing. Each, either, neither. As a general rule, treat these words as third-person singular pronouns, such as he, she, or it. In the following sentences, each subject is an indefinite pronoun, and each verb ends in s. Nobody claims to be perfect. In this case, nobody is an indefinite pronoun. That's why we add an s to the word claims. Everybody plays the fool sometimes. In this case, everybody is also an indefinite pronoun, which is why we also have to add an s to the verb plays. Remember, we treat the indefinite pronouns the same way we treat he, she, and it. So in this case, we can also say, he plays the fool sometimes. where we also have to add an S to the verb plays. Each of the divers has an oxygen tank. In the last sentence, note that has agrees with the subject each, not with divers. Case 3. Making have, do, and be agree with their subjects. We need to remember that the verb have appears as has if the subject is a singular noun or a third-person singular pronoun, such as he, she, or it. Here's an example. Dana Barrett has ghosts in her bedroom. In this case, Dana Barrett is a singular noun. That's why we use has. If the subject is a plural noun or the noun I, you, we, or they, we use have. In this example, the Ghostbusters have a new client. In this case, Ghostbusters is a plural noun, which is why we use have. Remember, she has, but they have. Similarly, the verb do appears as does if the subject is a singular noun or, once again, a third-person singular pronoun, he, she, or it. Here's an example. James does the housework. James is a singular noun. That is why we use the word does. If the subject is a plural noun or the pronoun I, you, we, or they, we use do. For example, James and May do the chores together. In this case, James and May together constitute a plural noun, so we have to use do. The verb be has 3 forms in the present tense: is, am, are. Use is if the subject is a singular noun or a third-person singular pronoun, he, she, or it. For example, Dr. Wong is unhappy. Dr. Wong is a singular noun. That is why we use is. Use am if the subject is the first-person singular pronoun I. For example, I am not the person you think I am. Finally, if the subject is a plural noun or the pronoun you, we, or they, use are. The fans are in the stands, and we are ready to play. In this case, the fans are a plural noun. Now let's take one more look at these 3 verbs in the following sentence patterns. We use a helping verb, have, do, or be, for asking questions. For example, where has Mr. Lee parked the car? What do you do in your free time? Are we having a test today? In all of these sentences, the present form of have, do, and be serve as helping verbs and appear in front of their subjects. Another case in which a form of the verb be comes before the subject is in the sentences beginning with the words there or here. For example, there is a unicorn in the garden. Here are the photocopies. Just keep in mind that no matter where a verb appears in a sentence, it must still agree with its subject. Now, let's go over some exercises in basic subject-verb agreement. Number 1. The price of these jeans, reasonable. Remember, we want to first find the subject of this sentence. In this case, we are describing the price of the jeans that are reasonable. Therefore, the price is the subject. We also know that price is a singular noun. Therefore, we should use is. The price of these jeans is reasonable. Number 2. The books borrowed from the library, on my desk. Again, we start with identifying the subject. In this case, we want to talk about something on my desk. It can't be the library, so it must be the books. So the subject are the books, while borrowed from the library is just an interrupting group of words. We know the word books is a plural noun because it has an S. Therefore, in this case, we use are. The books borrowed from the library are on my desk. Number 3. The boy who won the 2 medals, a friend of mine. Here the subject is the boy, who is a friend of mine, while the 2 medals are an interrupting group of words. We know that boy is a singular noun, so the answer is. The boy who won the 2 medals is a friend of mine. Number 4. Bread and butter, our daily food. Here we have a subject which is joined by and, bread and butter. This makes it a plural noun, so in this case the answer is are. Bread and butter are our daily food. Now let's try question 8. Neither his father nor his mother mahjong. The subject here is neither. Remember that neither is an indefinite pronoun. When we see an indefinite pronoun, we add an s to the verb or use the plural form of the verb. Therefore, the verb in this case will be plays. Neither his father nor his mother plays mahjong. Now try the remaining questions on this page yourself. Have you answered correctly? You may check your answers now. Let's continue. Number 11. Many a student made the same mistake. The phrase many a student is a special case of many students. While the phrase many students is in plural form, many a student is actually in singular form. This is why we should use the verb has. Many a student has made the same mistake. Now let's go to question 17. One of the books, a missing page. We know that one of the books is the subject. And since one of the books refers to only one book, that means this is a singular phrase, which is why we use has. One of the books has a missing page. And I'll leave you to try the remaining questions on this page. Here are the answers. Let's do one more question. Question number 22. One of these most intelligent students whose example, correct, John. In this question we see that there are two verbs and also two subjects. So let's begin with the first one. The first subject we see is example. We know that example is a singular word. That's why this answer is whose example is. The second subject is one of these most intelligent students. As we know, when we say one of these or one of this, we are only referring to one student, which is John. That's why in this case we use the singular verb, which is. And now I'll leave the rest of the time for you to finish the exercise. Here are some practice exercises. Now try these exercises yourself. Fill in the blanks with a verb that agrees with the subject. Have you finished? Let's take a look at the answers.